and welcome to a special Thanksgiving edition of Four Guys Talkin Sports, the podcast. My name is Luke Lograno.
I'm Ryan Hicks.
I'm David Acasella.
And I'm Lawrence Lograno.
Gentlemen, happy early Thanksgiving. I would, really hammer home that sentiment, but Ryan's the only person I'm not going to be seeing at the dinner table. So, Ryan, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Luke.
Happy Thanksgiving, Ryan.
I know.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, Ryan. I'll see you guys on Thanksgiving. It'll be great. The rest of you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish. I feel like I would have a ball at a Lograno Acasella Thanksgiving.
You probably have a blast.
Oh,
Yes. Ball conniption, same thing, right?
Until
Ryan
the
would
conversation
people
starts.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, no. I feel like that would be entertaining for him. He would just people watch the entire time, and honestly, even after a couple hours, he would already get people's ticks and everything. I mean,
Probably.
we just piss each other off sometimes. So.
I pride myself on being able to poke buttons really well and find out what frustrates people pretty quick. So I think I could have a field day with a bunch of people I'm not related to.
Trust me, you won't have
You'd
to poke.
fit right in. Yeah, you'd fit right in.
All right. Well, the four of us here at 4GTS wanted to make sure we were able to put something out this week since our normal recording day falls on a holiday. So with that said, we're here to give you a special Thanksgiving edition mini episode of Four Guys Talkin Sports, the podcast. And since it's Thanksgiving, this episode is going to be all about football. We're going to be talking about the matchups our teams have this weekend and also give our picks. But first, we need to talk about the Thanksgiving games. It's the thing we're all here for. So first up, the matchup as old as the Pilgrims themselves. The Bears and the Lions face off again on Thanksgiving Day. This time, the 5-6 Bears march into Ford Field to take on the 3-7-1 Lions. Ryan, how do you see our first game of the holiday going?
So boring. So boring. I really hope I'm eating during this one, and then I can enjoy the other games because this is I couldn't even. I think it's a coin flip on who wins. I think both teams are bad. I think the game is going to be boring. I don't think we're going to get any entertainment out of it. Is Trubisky starting?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, because I thought for a second that they yanked him. I mean, I think the Bears win the game, but I do not think in any way, shape, or form it's going to provide any entertainment for anyone at home.
Could you imagine paying money to go to a football game on Thanksgiving that is quarterbacked by Jeff Driscoll and Mitchell Trubisky?
No.
Because I can't. Yeah, no, I don't know.
I totally agree with Ryan. Sorry to cut you off, David.
No, it's okay.
Totally agree with Ryan. Complete snooze fest. Coin flip of winner. So maybe the fourth quarter gets interesting. The over-under is set below 40. It's set at 38.5, and I still want to take the under. And that's all I got.
The Lions are not very gifted defensively, though.
No, not at all.
But the Bears are not very gifted offensively, so where does it break, right?
Neither team is gifted, period.
Yeah.
Done. That's it.
Well, that's the thing, though. I think Chicago has defense, and then poor Mrs. Driscoll. I feel so bad for that woman. She's going to be slaving over a hot oven, and her baby boy is just going to be getting sacked by Khalil Mack play after play. She's just going to have the worst holiday ever. Oh, man, I feel bad for her. I think you're right, though. I think we're going to see. It would not surprise me if we saw a 6-0 Bears win in this one. I think that's way more realistic than people are making it out to be.
And the problem is it won't even be like you can get a low-scoring game where it's picks and fumbles and it's a special teams game. Like I think there comes a point where that could be enjoyable. It's going to be 3 and out, kind of crappy punt, start at the 30, 3 and out, kind of crappy punt, start at the 30. I mean, that's where we might not even see a red zone play. Honestly, I mean, the game's going to be that boring.
They both have bad running games, too.
And I think we should treat this segment exactly how we're treating this game right now. Cut it short. Don't want to listen to it. No one cares. It's completely irrelevant. Can we talk about the next game,
I'll leave
please?
it on one note because I just looked them up. Pat O'Donnell and Sam Maynard. I want to buy 2 turkeys for those guys because those are the punters on both teams. I think you're going to have a really busy day, and I think they earned a good meal. All right, let's move on.
6 punts each.
So next up, 2 teams with a lot of talk about them. The 8-3 Bills are up to Jerry World to face the 6-5 Cowboys. There's been a lot of rumors recently about Jason Garrett and how secure his job is. Some reports even saying that he might be off on his way to another NFC East team in the Giants. David, how important is this game for Jason Garrett if he wants to stay in Dallas?
I think it really comes down to him winning the division, even if they lose this game, which is very winnable because they're the only 500 team in that division. How do you fire a division-winning coach? I think that's what it comes down to. I do think he's a bad football coach. Not bad, just not very good, I should say. He's got a lot of issues on and off the field. He doesn't exactly. He's not the kind of leader of men that you'd want. in the Dallas locker room, but Jerry Jones seems to love him. So definitely a huge game, though, from that aspect, because one loss and an Eagles win would then tie them for that division lead, I believe, if I'm getting the standings right. But for the Buffalo Bills, this is also a big game. This is a national primetime game. Well, not primetime, but nationally televised game. First one they've had all year, I believe. And they're an 8-3 football team, and they are fighting to go to the playoffs and prove that they're worth it. And if they can go in and beat a team that's leading a division on Thanksgiving in their home stadium when they traditionally play every Thanksgiving, that'd be a huge win for Buffalo. So I think Cowboys definitely have more to lose, but Buffalo has much more to win.
I think the storyline of this game is so interesting because you have a Cowboys team who is notoriously horrible, and I could be wrong, but I don't even think they have a win against a team that's over 500 this year. And while the Bills are 8-3, they might be the biggest joke of an 8-3 football team there is. Just to give you a quick recap of who the Bills have beaten this season, you start with beating the Jets, which, no offense, guys, but I wouldn't really hang my cap on a Jets victory. Then you beat the Giants, similarly, not really your pride and joy. The Bengals, who suck. The Titans, who aren't really that great.
Wait a second. I know what this is. Ryan's trying to give a stat.
No, I'm not. I'm honestly not. The Dolphins, who suck. The Redskins, who suck. And the Dolphins, who suck some more. And then the Broncos, who also suck. So you have a team that can't beat an over 500 team and another team who hasn't beaten a good football team yet. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think that if the Bills come out on top, it's probably one of their better wins of the season. I think that Jason Garrett is out no matter what happens this season. I think that they paid a lot of money to have a coach give Ezekiel Elliott the ball, and the Patriots are notoriously not a great rushing defense this year in particular. I think that the Cowboys easily could have won that game had they just run the ball down the Patriots' throat, but it is what it is. So I think this is a much more interesting game, and I think it's going to tell a lot about both teams depending on who comes out on top.
Very fair point. All right. Well, next up, we have our last game we have on deck for Thursday. The 9-2 Saints are going into Atlanta to take on the 3-8 Falcons. Lawrence, we give Atlanta a ton of grief on this show, but they came out hot and ready to play the last time they took on the Saints. Do you think the Falcons have a shot to shock the world again on Thanksgiving?
No, I don't. It's in New Orleans this time. So, prime time. I like
sure about that?
I believe it's in Atlanta.
New Orleans? Oh, it is in Atlanta. Oh, Madonna me. Yeah, all right. You know what? I think my logic is the same here. Tough to beat the same team twice in division. Saints are going to be pissed off that they lost the first one. They're much, much, much better football team. So maybe the first one's a fluke and they come out and steamroll and we all turn the game off by the second half anyway. Or they shock me and they entertain me. But I would have said that about the Rams this Monday Night Football. It's kind of I feel the same way. They're either going to keep it close and surprise me, the Rams comparing them to the Falcons, or the Saints comparing them to the Ravens are just going to completely blow them out. No one's going to be shocked.
David, you're the resident Falcon hater here. Do you have anything you want to say here?
So I would really agree with that sentiment. The Falcons, they're a pretty bad football team. The Saints are miles better. And it just, I think it was a fluke that the Falcons kind of blew the Saints out last game. Saints offense had nothing going. But it was also Breeze's only second game back from that hand injury, I believe, if I'm getting those dates right. So I think, that Saints offense is firing on all cylinders right now. Falcons are bad defensively. They're pretty competitive offensively, though. So we could very well see a shootout. But I think it's a shootout that New Orleans is going to be on the right side of.
All right, cool. Well, aside from the Thanksgiving games, all of our teams will be in action this weekend. So let's start with what would be considered the most boring. And what some could describe as another suck bowl, the Jets are going into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Lawrence, the Jets are on a bit of a hot streak, but we've already seen this season they have no problem getting upset by a bad team. With Andy Dalton coming back as the starter, do you think Jets fans should have a lot of concern coming into this weekend?
Yes. So much yes. I mean, this is so, it's such a Jets game to lose. It feels like such a Jets game to lose. Combine it with Andy Dalton coming back, probably has a fire lit under his ass from being, sit for Ryan Finley. Yeah, they're on the road. I mean, it screams a game that the Jets lose. It really does. It really does. However, They put up over 30 points, 34, to be exact, the last 3 weeks. They played bad teams. The Raiders aren't technically that bad, I guess. And they've beaten the Cowboys. So maybe this team has some semblance of coming together here. Realistically, the Jets could be 6-5 if they hold on in the fourth quarter, week 1 against the Bills. Sam Darnold also sick at that time, and if they beat a literally hapless Miami Dolphin team, they are 6-5 right now, and we are
very close though.
What the Dolphin game?
Yeah.
Irrelevant. They should have won that game, and they did end up only losing by 1 score. You're right. It wasn't close. They looked like shit, but they should have beaten the Dolphins. You know what I mean? That's just kind of my point, right? Like, I also think this team should have beaten Jacksonville too. I think they have Darnold if they're playing right now. They could have beat Cleveland, but these are all hindsight things, right? If they could have beaten one of the shittiest teams in the NFL, and if they could have held on to a 16-point lead they blew in week 1 when Sam Darnold had mono, this team's over 500. So while yes, Jets fans are right to be concerned about Cincinnati, this is the type of game that'll tell you if maybe the ship has kind of been turned the right way.
I also I think you said it fantastic. I think the Jets have just enough confidence after getting their 4th win that they can immediately blow it up. But I also think that Miami team that was god-awful, it's supposed to be the worst team in football that we lost to. We saw Ryan Fitzpatrick try and will that team to victories before. They came close against Pitt. They should have beaten Washington. This wasn't the first time that Ryan Fitzpatrick tried to win that team the game. I think Cincinnati has embraced the suck. I really do. And I think they're trying now that they don't have their key pieces to just get your 1 win and get out and just make it to the draft. So I think that you're right. I think we just beat a Raiders team with a winning record, and that was really the Kickstarter to what should be a hot streak for the Jets. The fact that I haven't paid Ryan his $1 yet is incredible, and the fact that we're going into week 13. Quick callback. I bet Ryan $1 the Jets would have a winning record this year. I haven't done it yet. I'm close, 1 loss away, but I haven't done it yet. So who knows how this week will end up? But you said it great, Lawrence. Thank you for the input. So next up, we have 2 teams still in the fight for the division. The Titans are headed into Indianapolis to take on the Colts. David, the Colts are coming off a tough loss against the Texans, and the Titans are coming off a big win against the Jaguars. So what can we expect from Indy in the game this Sunday?
Indy's going to come out hard. They're going to come out hitting. They're going to try to run the ball on every play because that's our strength, honestly, at this point, even though Brissett's been quite accurate in the red zone. I do think that we'll end up taking this game, but it's going to be tight. It's going to be a tight game. 2 teams that, the Titans definitely play defense better, but the Colts have been pretty solid defensively this year, too. Similar style, though, football teams, hard-nosed run, but we honestly have owned the Titans in the recent past. I think I want to say the last time the Colts lost to the Titans was 2015 or 16. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's when it was. Luck, I don't think, had ever lost to the Titans. If I'm being, I'm pretty sure he never lost to them. So I could be wrong about that too. I'm really just spewing facts that I don't know the answers to. So I should stop doing that. Or doing stats I don't know the answers to. But yeah, definitely going to be a tight game. Titans are not a football team either, but we're at home. I think we'll end up squeaking by with like a 1 or 2 point victory. So if I were to pick a spread, I would actually take the Titans on the spread with those 3. I think it's 3.5 points, maybe 2 even. But yeah, it's that Houston game. I said it on this show last week. We were not going to win that game. We were set up to lose, and we actually made it closer than I thought because our defense really held down the Titans, and the offense is just not there. Like that not Tennessee. This is Tennessee this week. That Texans game, that Houston game, that's the difference between Andrew Luck and Jacoby Brissett. You saw it in that game right there. Those 3rd down passes, that one that T.Y. Hilton, I mean, people say he dropped it, but the cornerback had his hand in between T.Y.'s hands because the ball was underthrown, sorry. Andrew Luck does not underthrow that football on 3rd and 12. He would just have the extra, 3 inches of air under the ball. That would have been a 1st down. It's little things like that if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't really miss. But yeah, I think we'll win. Put it in the books.
I will. All right. And Speaking of the AFC South, that brings us to our last game. The division-leading Houston Texans will be taking on the leader of the AFC East, the New England Patriots, in the Sunday night game. Ryan, the Pats just narrowly escaped the other Lone Star State team in the Dallas Cowboys this past weekend. Do you think there's any chance we see an upset on Sunday?
I think it's possible if Deshaun Watson moves and they got that option moving quick and early and he starts running, because if he starts scrambling early in the game and puts that defense on their heels, it can be something that the Patriots have struggled with in the past. Their one losses to a team that has the best running quarterback we've seen since Michael Vick. So if Watson and they get that RPO or even just the straight up read option going early, and Watson's feeling the legs, I think that they could have a problem. With that being said, I don't think that will happen. I'm confident the Patriots come out on top of this game. That game against the Cowboys was a complete mess from start to finish. The weather was atrocious. It was cold. It was super rainy. It was pouring. It was just a gritty, dirty football game, and I could have told you that it was going to be low scoring from the get-go. You don't see that in Houston. You won't have that kind of weather in Houston. I think the biggest thing to watch for this week is if this Patriots offense can get something going, because Brady came out frustrated last week. This week was not a great game offensively for any team. So this is the shot where we're deep enough in the season now where you can't say it's early and the Patriots are still finding themselves. They got to establish a run game early. They got to move the ball. They got to score some points. So that's the biggest thing I'm watching this game is how that offense moves.
Ryan, if the Patriots were to lose again this year, who would it be to? Your choices really are only the Chiefs, Bills, and Texans.
The Chiefs.
Think so?
I think it's the Chiefs. I don't think it's the Bills.
I would have said Bills if I had to choose.
The only reason I think it's the Bills is if that's later in the season and they start to rest people. Is that week 17? Is that their last game?
That is week 17, yeah.
Yeah. So
but,
if Brady only plays a half, then the Bills. But
if the Ravens don't lose and you go into that game, you're a game ahead of them, and they have that tiebreaker. So that would essentially be 4 home fields. So, I mean, it's possible if the Ravens went out that game means something to you.
Yep, it is. But you got to get past that Chiefs team first.
Of course.
And that Chiefs team is a team that can have our number. So I'm more worried about that Chiefs game than I am any other game on the schedule right now.
Chiefs defense stinks, man.
Yeah, but the Chief offense is real good, and you'll have Mahomes back for a couple weeks, so he'll have his legs under him. He'll be in game shape again.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
So, we'll see. I think the Patriots-Houston game this week is going to be a good one, though.
All right, well, that'll do it for our analysis, but now it's time for our predictions. And let me tell you, it's getting a little too close for comfort. So let's pull up the leaderboard and check the standings. Lawrence, our new leader, with 35 points and a record of 16-14. David falls to second with 33 points and a record of 19-11. Ryan is on his heels in third place with 32 points and a record of 16-14. And I am in last but not far behind with 30 points and a record of 14-16. Lawrence, our new head honcho, start us off with your 1-point pick.
Okay, well, I just want to take this opportunity while I'm in first place just to say that I know I don't deserve it. I'm 3 games back of David, and you're only 5 points back from me. So this whole thing just feels and when I say I was speaking about Luke. This whole thing just feels really finky. Maybe we redo it next season. Because I don't deserve to be in first. David deserves to be in first. And if Luke ends up hopping 6 points this week over everyone and he's in first, then I'll really feel bad about the entire thing and really, really hate it. No offense, Luke. I love you to death. Your pick sucks sometimes. That's all it is. There's no reason you should be in first.
I can't tell you the last time. I think like the last month we've been doing this show, I think I've gotten a majority of my picks correctly. So I just need some time. I just need to get the rest off.
You needed to warm up. I get it, but David with the whole mess missing his 3-point pick every week is like really, really cost him. You really should.
That's true. I mean, that's the name of the game, dude. I mean, that's the one I get wrong. That's the one that counts the most.
And if I can toot my own horn here for a second, I've been red hot the last couple of weeks. I went 2-1 last week, swept 3-0 this week. I know I'm not alone. I had 2 other people on the show go 3-0. However, I also won Pick'em this week against the spread, and I was in it to the tiebreaker last week, so I feel like I'm kind of on a roll. That being said, all of my picks this week are completely completely outrageous. They make no sense whatsoever, and I'm not confident in any of them. So, for my 1 point pick, I'm going to go Indianapolis at home Sunday -2.5 against the Tennessee Titans. Titans came out with a big win last week against the Jaguars. I think their Colts find the footing they need at home this week because they are in a really important wild card race. I like Brissett. Tannehill maybe dies down even though he's been playing really hot. I'm not confident in it whatsoever. I hate all my picks. I don't want to do any of this. And even though I've thought I've read the league pretty well the last couple weeks, that I'm going to go Colts -2.5.
Well, at least you're open about it, right?
Before I get into my pick, I just want to say on the Colts thing, they definitely play better at home, so it's not a bad idea. But they're really not in a wild card race. They're pretty much out of that. They're racing for the AFC South. It's really the only way because we lost the head-to-head to Pittsburgh and Oakland, and we're not catching the Bills. So we would have to be a game ahead of those teams to get it.
You're not catching the Bills. I agree with you there, but 5 to play. The Steelers and Raiders might.
But if we
not
have a better record than those two teams, we're probably gonna have a better record than Houston.
Yeah, you could be right. You definitely could be right. However, I just don't think you're giving the Colts enough credit. I think they can definitely sneak into that second wild card spot. I think their record.
I'm giving them credit to win the division. I'm saying it's not the wild card's relevant.
Okay. Yeah,
that's basically what I'm getting at. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yep. I hear you. I think that out of all the teams in the hunt for the 6th seed right now, the Colts may have the most talent. That was my.
Well, they probably do. Yeah, we probably do. Anyways, though, since talking about the Steelers, my 1 point pick is also going to the Steelers this week, getting points against the Browns again. I know we all lost on this one last time, right? Or at least 3 of us did. I can't imagine them losing again to the Browns while getting points this time at home. It's tough to lose to the same team twice, and it's on their field now. I understand Devlin Hodges is starting quarterback, but the kid's shown some real talent. He's got a nice arm. He likes to go duck hunting, So it's I have some faith in Devlin Hodges and the Steelers getting 1.5 at home.
All right, Ryan, stat man do himself. Let's hear it.
Larry, what was that? I thought you asked what my record is since I started using stats. It's 5-1. Luke, what did you ask? Yes, I am going to continue to use stats. David, what did you say? I thought you might have just asked how the Bengals are against the spread the week following when they play the Steelers. Well, thanks for asking.
He said nothing.
The Bengals are a piss poor 8-16 against the spread after playing the Steelers, and I think that record's so bad I'm taking the Jets. I know it is a Jets game, but Cincy is just terrible covering the spread when they play the Steelers. So I know on this podcast I said I would never pick the Jets. I'm going back on that. I'm taking the Jets 3.5 point favorites against Cincy.
Ryan 0-2 with Jets picks this year. So if this one makes him go 0-3, I think that might just put the nail in the coffin for the stat man. All right.
I really like the Jets this week too, man. I think it's a good pick. Jets.
We'll have to see. Lawrence said it best. I hate this week. I hate doing every week because I don't feel good about a single pick that I'm going to take, but I need to make them anyway if I want to keep this lovely beard on my face. So 1 point pick. We're starting early. We are going with, I switched that up. Never mind. I'm taking the Bills. So I'm going Bills plus 6.5 at the Cowboys, not the 12:30 game. They're the 4:00 game. Thanksgiving nonetheless. I think this Cowboys team is disheveled. I think I could call Josh Allen Ashley because he's on a roll. I think the Bills are finally starting to find their footing. I think the Cowboys are really, really in a tough spot. That loss to the Patriots doesn't do them any good. And hopefully the Bills will take it, especially getting points. So, with that said, Lawrence, 2 point pick.
That was the game that I was closest to including into my 3 that I eventually ended up not doing. Sort of gimmicky, but we'll get into that later when I make my 3rd pick. So for my 2 point pick, I am taking the New England Patriots on the road Sunday night in Houston. They are laying 3 points. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yes.
They are laying 3 points. I think they handle this team with ease, even though they're on the road. We just have to face it. They're one of the 3 best teams in football. And I think Houston goes under a little bit here, and the Pats come out with a big win Sunday night, primetime Tom Brady. 2 point pick, book it.
Will do. David, 2 point pick.
So I'm going to do a little copy with you, Luxor. I'm going to take the Bills as well, getting 6.5. Even though they're in Dallas, I think of the past 4 weeks, I've taken the Bills every time, and it's been almost the only pick I've won in the past 4 weeks. So I'm going to keep taking
David,
them.
You've gone 3 for 1 with the Bills. I've
3 for 1. I won. What was a push with the Browns, actually. I remember that now.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
But pushes their losses here. So yeah, 3 and 1. Those are pretty good odds, Ryan, with your stats. I like 3 and 1. So yeah, getting 6.5 against a team that I think they're actually better than. Maybe not better than fundamentally. The Cowboys may be a little bit better because the Bills have had a trash schedule. But it's an 8-3 team and a 6-5 team, and the 8-3 team is getting almost a touchdown. It's to me a weird optic. I don't understand why Vegas continues to cap the Bills as a bad team, even though they've beaten trash. They're still 8-3 in the NFL. That's not something that happens all the time. You know, when you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you know. So lock it in, Bills plus 6.5.
Before I pass it on over to Ryan, another useless stat I have to offer. Picks made with the Bills did not hit until David made his first pick with the Bills, and now they've almost always hit, except for that one push.
By the way, my last line too, the Steelers is 2, not 1.5. I messed that up.
It's 2? Okay, thank you.
I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because I had to pushes or losses. Yeah.
Okay, something lead in where I ask a question to Ryan. Go.
No, Larry, although I see where you're going with your picks. Not the first person to use that strategy, but I picked up what you're putting down there.
I was going to mention it. Don't worry.
I know. I saw you. I'm here. I'm with you.
I was going to mention it.
Yep.
Don't worry.
And you know why I like your 2-point pick so much?
Tell me, Ryan.
Because Tom Brady is 20-12 against the spread on Sunday Night Football, and so I'm locking it in with you. I'm taking the New England Patriots at -3 at Houston. Tom Brady, Sunday Night Football, 20-12 against the spread. Can't beat those odds.
Yes,
Lock
you can.
12 times they did get beat.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you over the 20 wins. So if I bet it every time, I would have made money.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right.
you're right.
I'm going to go now so Ryan can stop talking. We're going to keep the Thursday night train going. I'm going to take the Saints -7 at the Falcons. We talked about, lightning not striking twice in the same place. Drew Brees on Thanksgiving is one of a kind. I know that's a really weird stat to throw out. I guess it's right up Ryan's alley. But I think the Saints team is just playing so well, and this Falcons team just gets beat after beat after beat. And I just think that this is an easy game to take the Saints for. So here we go. The top pick of the week, Lawrence. Let's hear it.
Ryan called me out already, man. Straight up called me out. I was going to go with the Bills until I decided that I wanted to support the boys. That's what I'm doing this week. We did analysis on the whole game. On every game I've picked, I'm supporting the boys this week. And even though I think there's serious cause for concern, I'm laying the 3.5 for the Jets in Cincinnati. It's my 3-point pick. I believe it's the first time that the Jets are a favorite this year. Maybe the second with the Dolphins.
They were a favorite against the Dolphins.
Game. Yeah. Still, it's weird picking the Jets as a favorite on the road.
They were a favorite week 1 too against the Bills.
Were they actually?
Yeah. Yeah, it was
wow.
it was because they were basically even. So the Jets
it was less than 3 points. Right. Well, and that's how I feel. This game's capped.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like this game's capped. Except that second half point. I mean, the half point is really big. But
but you're the road
I'm going to take the Jets.
You're losing the 3, not getting the 3.
Right, I understand that. I understand. I think the 3.5 is what is like scaring me about this a little bit. But I think I'm confident enough, which is like the weirdest thing to say, man. It's really weird.
Well, I hope maybe if the Jets don't play so well, I could be there to comfort you, son, if we're here on this holiday weekend. All right, David, 3-point pick.
All right, so 3-point pick, my weekly loser, usually, right? As we would be able to call it in past. But I like this one. I mean, I like them all. That's why I pick them as my 3-point pick, though. But so we're going to go with Green Bay laying the 6.5 against the Giants. The game is in New Jersey, and I really don't mind it, though, because they only need to win by a touchdown. Green Bay's a great football team. They did get embarrassed by San Fran, who is a better football team on national TV last week. But the Giants are absolutely abysmal. And they may be one of the worst teams in the league, sans Bengals and Dolphins. So they lost to the Jets, man. They got nothing going on. Saquon Barkley's not right. Daniel Jones is a baby. I don't even need to name the rest of their team because they all stink. They look like they're playing bowling when they snap the ball to the kicker. I don't know if you guys saw that. the video of that field goal Rosas missed, where the long snapper literally rolled it to the holder?
No, I missed that.
So they're falling apart. I'll send it to you guys on Instagram after this, but they're really falling apart. And the Packers are just way too good to be only laying 6.5. So lock it in. Green Bay minus 6.5 is 3-point pick.
I will. Okay. The most annoying stat of the day. Let's have it.
No. Unfortunately, no fun stat. A simple stat. Last 10, Saints are 7-3 against the spread. Falcons are only 4-6, taking the winning odds. Taking the Saints -7 at Atlanta. Atlanta's bad. Saints are angry. I think this game is going to be a blowout.
Ryan, where do you find these stats?
Variety of websites.
Okay.
The first one's just a basic
This whole
one.
segment screams Ryan looking up 20 different tabs of information just till he finds exactly what he needs.
No. Week 1 was just one tab. Week 2 was 2 different ones. And then the Bengals being 8-16 against the spread after playing the Steelers took some digging. But I think that might be my favorite stat that I found.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it took some digging.
If anyone was curious how I procrastinated my homework today, it was that.
All right. Well, I'm sure you wanted some big, long explanation for the last pick of the week, but unfortunately, I don't have one because it's already been taken. So all I'll say is that the Patriots only giving up 3 is way too small of a spread. If that was any bigger, I probably would not have touched this game. But it's only 3 points, and the Patriots are fantastic, and the Texans are good to great, which is just not nearly on the Patriots level. So lock me in, Patriots -3 at the Texans. I think this one's going to be a cakewalk. All right, so that's going to do it for our predictions. Now, gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this lovely Thanksgiving edition of the Four Guys Talkin Sports, but I just wanted to make sure you didn't think I would leave you without a trivia question, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Let's go. I was going to text
by
earlier.
your reaction, I think the news I'm about to give you is like a parent wrapping a vacuum cleaner as a Christmas gift, because the trivia question this week is not from the judge. The judge has deferred to me on this week. I let him know on short notice we were doing a Thanksgiving special, and he did not have enough time to get me a question, so he's letting me take the reins. So, here is your holiday gift from me to you, an easy trivia question. Boys, name me the one NFL team that has never played a game on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
That's not easy.
Yeah.
So hold on. Do you count the Baltimore Ravens franchise as the Cleveland Browns or Baltimore Ravens?
Baltimore
I don't
Ravens.
think it matters.
Did David just loophole it?
Well, because the new Cleveland
tell us
Browns have not played on Thanksgiving, but the old Cleveland Browns have. So I don't know if that would count for Baltimore or Cleveland, because there's a whole bunch of Michigan
Did
and
he
crap
just
in there.
loophole it? Give it to him if he's close.
My
Give it to
answer's
him
not
if
the
he's
Cleveland
close.
Browns, so that's not what I have.
It's
Okay.
got to be. He said it's easy. It's got to be Colts, Jets, Pats.
The Colts have played. I know
Okay.
for a fact.
Yeah, everyone gets one
That's
answer.
for butt fumble.
Oh,
So-
all right.
Everyone gets
Yeah,
one
just
answer.
with a blood fumble, right? The Pats definitely have.
All right, never mind then.
What's the most useless team in the NFL besides Cleveland?
Poor
All right,
Browns.
I'll take my guess. No confidence in it at all.
Let's hear it.
The Houston Texans.
Okay, Ryan, what do you got?
Cincinnati Bengals.
David.
I know they definitely have. Hold on, give me a second.
Come on. I didn't
No,
give
I had a
anyone
good
else
team and I just
time.
lost it.
Come on, Dave. Spit it out. You're better than this. Come on.
I'm thinking, man. Hold on.
Why
I
did you
did not
say
think
this was
everyone-
easy?
thought
Yeah,
it
this
was
totally
Why
was
did
not
you
easy.
think it'd be easy? Did you know it before you looked it up?
Jacksonville
No.
Jaguars.
David, you're correct. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the only team that never played.
Nice.
So, congrats. You have stuffed Lukester. Not nearly as hard as stumping the judge, but good job nonetheless.
Great.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this mini episode Thanksgiving special. We all hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like us, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you don't miss the real episode 12. So, for all of us here, my name is Luke Lograno.
I'm Ryan Hicks.
I'm David Acasella.
And I'm Lawrence Legrano.
Ladies and
Episode
gentlemen,
11
we
and a
hope
half.
you have a very happy Thanksgiving, happy Black Friday. We will see you next time for episode 12. Take care.
Safe Black Friday, too.
Spay and neuter your pets and eat a lot of turkey.